Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with part 2 of What If Naruto Was Muzan's Reincarnation. So you guys absolutely loved part 1, like I knew it was a long awaited series, but I didn't realize how many of you wanted it. So thank you guys so much for all the love on part 1, and I'm here with part 2. So with that all said, let's just get right into the what if. Talk to me next. Look. So last time we left off with Naruto slowly approaching his graduation date in the academy, but this isn't stopping him from expanding his control of mainly everyone around him. Naruto goes to the Hokage's office, but when he enters the building, the lady who normally sits at the front to, book people who want to see Hiruzen, she writes down their names and give them to Hiruzen, and he sees when he can slots them in to see him. And this lady stops Naruto and says, "Excuse me, Lord Hokage isn't seeing anyone right now." And Naruto stops and just stares at this lady menacingly. And Naruto's killing intent alone made her so scared that she froze, and she isn't a ninja, so this is very effective. And Naruto just keeps walking, and when he made it to Hiruzen's office, Naruto walked in, and when he sees Hiruzen, he used his telepathy and said, "Send your Anbu out, I have something private to talk to you about." So Hiruzen said out loud, "Anbu, leave," and 4 Anbu members drop from the ceiling and walk out of the room. Naruto now having some privacy, walked up to Hiruzen's desk and said, "What have my team gathered?" And Hiruzen began to list out everything that his team has gathered, the team being demons under Naruto's control. Hiruzen says, "The land of Cloud is gathering ninjas to take on samurai to the north. No threat to the land of fire. And the land of sand politically is unstable, but still no threat to the land of fire. The fire daimyo, I don't know, it's daimyo, I guess, that's how it looks. He will be visiting soon to get an update on the current state of the leaf." So Naruto thought for a second and said, "I might visit the sand to take advantage, place a mole in their council." And Naruto said, "Have Ren waiting at the gate." Ren is just the name of a random villager that Naruto made into a demon. So before Naruto left, he turned back to Hiruzen and said, "Wait, before I forget." And Naruto connects to Hiruzen telepathically and begins going through his memories, seeing everything that he's been through. Luckily, Naruto's mind could keep up, so he doesn't completely pass out. He just gets a bit weak. So with that, Naruto leaves, and with Ren, they head to the Sand Village. While traveling, Naruto shapeshifts himself into an older looking man, sort of in his mid-20s. So like normal, it takes 3 days to get to the leaf. And yeah, I know he's like missing school, like in the academy, but Naruto just has Hiruzen tell Iruka some story about why he can't make it. And I mean, it's the Hokage, who's not gonna believe him. Anyways, Ren and Naruto make it to the Sand Village and sneak in, and they lie in wait for someone from the council to appear. Meanwhile, like they're waiting, Naruto turns random sand civilians into demons, thinking it will become useful later on. But eventually, they get who they were looking for. In the dead of night, Yura appeared walking outside of the Sans version of the Hokage's mansion. And the name might not seem familiar to most of you guys, but it's the same guy that Itachi used in place of himself while he was fighting Team 7 and he ended up dying. But Yura is a trusted advisor of Tsunagakure's council, so he's the perfect target. Naruto and Ren corner Yura, and Naruto stands in front of him and says, "You'll be useful." And Yura is confused and tries pulling out a kunai, but Ren grabs his hand and Naruto shoves his nail into Yura, transferring his blood, turning him into a demon. And Naruto looks Yura in the eyes and says, gather as much information as you can and send a letter to Hiruzen Sarutobi every month. Yura nods and goes back to his post. It was still nighttime, so Naruto and Ren easily snuck out and returned to the village within another 3 days. Naruto made it back, and he actually made it back just in time to catch his graduation exam in full swing. He enters the class and everyone is already started their test, so Naruto quietly went to his seat to start. Naruto, he is 1000 IQ, so whatever test they throw at Naruto, he can easily ace it. So after that, Hiruka, he goes around and collects all the papers, and then once he has them in a stack, he puts it on his desk and hands it to Mizuki, who came over to help him with coordinating the entire exams. And Mizuki, he gets the papers and goes off to mark everything. So Iruka, using this free time, he takes everyone outside to get a more hands-on graduation exams. In previous years, he would just have them do some basic jutsu like shadow clones or like transformation, but Iruka, he actually wants to see what these guys can do in the field as an actual ninja. So he takes them outside and have them do sort of a similar thing to what they did in their first ever day in the academy, but the main difference is they'll be fighting, and it will be times 10. It will be really hard. So Iruka, he has everyone line up and of course does the easy stuff first, like accuracy training, and then he does something a bit different. Iruka has everyone go up against him. Iruka is thinking that, he's a Chunin and none of them aren't even Genin, so he'll be able to take them all. Which would be true, but then there's Naruto, so he's gonna have to learn that the hard way. So Iruka has everyone come up one by one, and if they can knock him over, imagine like boxing rules where if anything other than your feet touches the ground, then that's a knockdown. So say someone makes him take a knee or has his hand touch the ground, then well, the academy student wins. So after explaining all of this, Iruka then says first up Kiba, and Kiba at this point doesn't know any of his clan abilities like Man Beast transformation, so this is an easy match for Iruka. After was Shikamaru, Hinata, Ino, Sakura, and some other background characters, but then the main event, Iruka versus Naruto. So Naruto walks into the little ring area and Iruka is feeling himself, as in he's feeling good about, his wins, cause no one has gotten him yet, so he feels pretty good. And Iruka says, whenever you're ready, Naruto. So Naruto nods and runs at Iruka, but Iruka didn't expect Naruto to be running this fast. He went on guard trying to figure out how to dodge, but then Naruto's arms extended out like Mr. Fantastic, or if you don't know who that is, his arm extended out like Luffy and grabs Iruka and pulls him in, and with his other hand punches Iruka, sending him flying across the ground. And everyone was watching, and firstly they were confused how Naruto became Luffy. Like, One Piece is as popular as Makeout Paradise in this universe. And secondly, is Iruka okay? Because he got flung across the dirt like he isn't moving. So a group of students carry him to the nurse where, one of the medical ninjas at the academy, while girls started surrounding Naruto, but he managed to escape somehow. So while walking back home, since Iruka is out of commission because of someone, Naruto, he's hearing these whispers travel around the village about people going missing, and all that being left is like blood trails. And Naruto knows exactly who's causing this. And Naruto telepathically calls on Ren, the same demon he went to the Sand Village from. Ren, though, the reason why Naruto even brought him in the first place is because he's been having trouble with Ren and he just wanted him to get out of the village for a while, but it can't be helped at this point. Ren is trying to expose the existence of the demons in the village because his hunger is ravenous and he keeps eating villagers, like 10 to 20 villagers a day at least. So Naruto, he's going to take care of this problem. So he calls on Ren telepathically and has him meet him in one of the more forested areas of the Leaf Village. Not the Forest of Death, just a place with a bunch of trees. So Naruto, he walks into the forest and he sees Ren waiting there. And Ren is like, "Master, you called me?" Naruto said, "Bow your head to me." So Ren quickly fell to the ground and he bowed, and Naruto said, "What's this of me hearing of villagers going missing? How often are you eating?" And Ren tries to assure Naruto that he isn't eating that much. It must be Yoriichi and his group. Yoriichi being just another random villager turned into a demon. And Ren is thinking, "Crap, I'm screwed. How am I gonna get out of this one?" And Naruto says, "Get out of what?" And Ren, he immediately freezes and says, "How does he know?" And Naruto says, "I can hear all of your thoughts. Ren, you've caused me enough trouble already. Now die." Naruto's hand turns into this monster-like creature with a mouth at the end of it. And Ren is thinking, the only way is to run. So he starts running through the forest, but he has nowhere to escape. Ren turns left and then he sees Naruto standing there. He turns right, he sees Naruto again. Every direction he's turning, Naruto keeps appearing, and then he turns behind him again and Naruto is right in front of him. And then this monster-like creature in his arm devours Ren whole. So Naruto, he cleans up the bloody scene from his clothes and then he returns home to where he begins preparing for the next day at the academy, where he will be getting his ninja headband to finally become Genin. So the next day rolls around and Iruka, he's in class and he's pretty injured from yesterday. So everyone, they're wishing Iruka that he recovers and things like that. While Sasuke, he's just pissed. Yesterday, he didn't even get to go. He was supposed to go after Naruto. But they would have to use a different metric to give those who didn't go as of yet, to give them a fair chance. They'll just be doing what they normally do, just a simple shadow clone. Well, not shadow clone, a simple clone jutsu. And that's pretty much it. So after everyone who didn't go does their clone jutsu, Sasuke did a clone. It wasn't that hard, no one failed it. Iruka, he then starts giving out the results for the written portion of the test, and as you could tell, Naruto, he aced it, getting the highest grade in the class, and Shikamaru would have probably aced it as well, but of course it was a drag, so he placed 15th in the class. People in the same area as Naruto would be Sakura, Ino, Sasuke. They're pretty smart. So after giving out those results, people are surprised that Naruto, he placed that high, because Naruto never really tried all that much when he was doing certain tests in the academy, so his average wasn't the highest. He was always in the top 10, but never number 1. So that combined with Naruto absolutely demolishing Iruka Sensei in yesterday's exams, Naruto was crowned the Rookie of the Year. And with that revelation, Sasuke, he was mad actually, because he worked really hard to become stronger for the exam, because Sasuke in this, he actually cared because Naruto, he was getting all of the attention, and I think I said it in part 1, but Sasuke, he doesn't want to admit it, but he's jealous of Naruto. He's jealous of his strength and his popularity. So Sasuke, he's pretty mad at the fact that he couldn't display any of what he was working on. But anyways, Naruto, he's awarded Rookie of the Year, and Sakura is awarded Kunoichi of the Year. The reason I don't give it to Ino is because, I rag on Sakura in all of these what ifs, so I'll at least throw her a bone, well, for now. But yeah, so after all of that, Iruka, he gets the clipboard given to him by Hiruzen of all the different teams. So he starts announcing the teams, going from Team 10, which is the Inochika Cho, the trio, and their Jonin Sensei would be Asuma. Then to Team 8 with Kiba, Hinata and Ino, and their Jonin sensei would be Kurenai, and finally Team 7, regular old Team 7, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and their Jonin sensei would be Kakashi. So Iruka, he limps out of the room because he is still pretty injured, and each of the Jonin senseis come in to collect their team, and they go have some sort of introductions. So first, Team 7 Jonin sensei comes in, Asuma, he comes in, takes Inochigacho, and Kurenai comes in soon after taking her team, and Team 7 just has to wait there, really. They just have to wait and wait until Kakashi finally decides to show up a whole hour later, and the whole team was not happy. They just had to sit there in silence, really. And the entire time they were waiting, Sasuke, he kept eyeing down Naruto, kept giving him glances because he was not happy in the slightest about being on the same team with Naruto. But anyways, Kakashi, he comes into class, and when he opens the door, he can already feel the tension in the air, but it was pretty one-sided. It's mainly between Sasuke and Naruto, but one-sided, meaning as in it's Sasuke alone. Naruto doesn't even care. So Kakashi, he comes in and says, he introduces himself, just a short bit saying he's Kakashi, and to meet him up on the roof. So everyone, they walk up simply, and when they get there, they sit down, and Kakashi starts saying, how about you guys introduce yourselves? And I just hit my mic. You know what? I'm gonna leave that one in because I've hit my mic at least 10 times already. So, I mean, it only takes like 0.5 seconds to delete it, but I'm just gonna leave it in just because. But yeah, Kakashi, he was saying, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? You can start off with your names, your likes, dislikes, and your goals for the future. So it starts off with Sasuke, and his is pretty routine. Sasuke saying how what he has isn't a dream, isn't a goal, because it's gonna be a reality. I really can't remember the exact quote, but it's something along those lines. And Sasuke, he says that he's gonna kill a certain someone and surpass someone else while glancing at Naruto. And Kakashi's like, okay, we have a friendly rivalry going on. That's good sometimes. So then it goes on to Sakura, and the whole time she is flirting over Sasuke. She says, hi, my name is Sakura Haruno. I like flowers. I dislike anyone that hates Sasuke. And then she starts saying about how her goal is to make a good husband for a certain someone. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Sasuke. But yeah, Sakura, like Kakashi, he's saying, oh, brother. Like, this isn't a good thing for a ninja. Ninjas aren't supposed to be feeling any sort of way while they're on their missions because it could affect their mission, because their goal at the end of it is to complete it. So after all that's said and done, it's Naruto's turn, and Naruto says, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like perfection in everything I do, and I dislike those who try to oppose me. And Kakashi, he's thinking, oppose you? Like, he's thinking to himself, like, this guy's talking like he's a dictator or something. And Naruto continues saying, his goal for the future is to have complete control. And Kakashi, again, and even Naruto's teammates, they're confused what he means by this, but they don't think it's anything too harmful. So they just write him off as stupid or something, and they just continue on. Kakashi says they should meet him at the training grounds tomorrow, where they'll start their true test as a team. So let's just skip immediately to the training grounds, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, they're all waiting on Kakashi, and again, this guy is late, and Naruto, he's starting to get pissed at this. If you're the sensei, you should be here before everyone else. So after an hour and a half of waiting, Kakashi, he finally arrives, and Naruto comes up to Kakashi and he says, can you be early for once? And Kakashi, he starts coming up with excuses saying, oh, he was lost on the path of life, or a black cat crossed his path, so he had to take the long way around. But Naruto wasn't gonna take this sad excuse for an excuse, and he says, well, make sure to be early next time or else. And Naruto takes his pointer finger and pushes Kakashi back, like pushes him by his chest to show a bit of dominance. And Kakashi's like, who the hell is, who does this kid think he is? But anyways, Kakashi, he begins to explain the bell test, saying that whoever gets the bell first, they'll be, moved on, while the last person who doesn't will be sent back to the academy. And Sakura's saying that isn't fair, they worked really hard to get here. But Kakashi says, life isn't fair. So he says 3, 2, 1, begin, and Sasuke and Sakura rush off into the forest to hide so they have a better vantage point on hopefully surprise attacking Kakashi. But what Kakashi didn't expect was Naruto to stay back, and Naruto was standing out in the open ready to take Kakashi on. So Kakashi's like, okay, this kid wants to test me. So Kakashi, he doesn't think anything of Naruto, and to humiliate him a bit, he takes out his Makeout Paradise book and plans to read it while he's fighting with Naruto. So Kakashi, he begins reading, and then he looks back to where Naruto was, and Naruto was gone, and Kakashi, he quickly puts down the book and starts scanning the area for where Naruto is, and he's surprised. He doesn't see Naruto anywhere, he doesn't sense Naruto, and he's kind of worried. But then from behind him, Naruto throws a punch, but Kakashi quickly responds, and he flips around grabbing Naruto's hand, and he says, that was close. Because just before, while Kakashi was getting worried, just for safe measures, he pulled up his headband, so that's how he was able to catch Naruto's punch. So Naruto begins throwing a flurry of punches to Kakashi, and every time they're getting stronger and stronger because Muzan does have incredible strength. So Naruto, he's punching Kakashi over and over, who's having a hard time trying to keep up. But then finally, Naruto, he gets the upper hand and punches Kakashi in the gut. And Sasuke and Sakura, they're all watching this and are amazed that Naruto can take on a Jonin. So Sasuke, not wanting Naruto to take all the credit, he jumps out from where he was hiding and then says, fire style, fireball jutsu. And this launches a massive ball of fire towards Kakashi. But him being next to a river, he quickly does hand signs and says water dragon jutsu. And a massive water dragon rises from the river, and this collides with the fireball, overpowering it, and it goes straight through it. And then it clashes with Sasuke, which pins him up against a tree. But Kakashi, he made the fatal mistake of taking his eyes off Naruto for a second. Naruto, he sneaks up behind Kakashi and then he shoves his nails into Kakashi's back and he screams out in pain. And Naruto uses this time to send some of his blood into Kakashi's body, turning him into one of his demons. So Kakashi, with this new surge of power, he drops to the ground, and Naruto made sure to infuse a lot of his blood into Kakashi. So Kakashi, he drops to the ground and starts convulsing, like his body shaking up, and then he finally stops moving and falls unconscious. So with this, Naruto takes Kakashi to the hospital, where they just say he needs some rest. He wasn't injured externally or anything. He was actually really healthy because with this infuse of Naruto's blood, he had regeneration. So any injury that Kakashi had, it was healed, and now Kakashi can activate and deactivate his Sharingan. But it was still just in his one eye. So Kakashi, he didn't spend long in the hospital, like a day, and after that, Team 7 finally became the official team, and then they started doing a bunch of D-rank missions, helping ladies cross the road, And Naruto, during this time, he made sure to give Kakashi some clear instructions. Basically what he gives most people, to just act as normal as possible, like nothing ever happened. So that's exactly what Kakashi does. As I said, he takes them on D-rank missions, to chase cats and whatnot, but after a week of this, Naruto and understandably Sasuke and Sakura, they are getting pretty tired of these damn missions. So whenever they go to get their next D-rank mission, Naruto asks Hiruzen, he quote unquote asks because he's just gonna tell him to give them a better mission really. But he doesn't want to see him sus in front of his teammates, so he asks, and almost immediately Hiruzen gives up a C-rank escort mission. And Sasuke and Sakura, they're like, okay, I mean, it's better, at least they get to leave the village at least. So Hiruzen, he has the person who they're going to be escorting come into the room, and it's Tazuna. Tazuna, he comes in a complete drunk mess, and he starts slurring his words like, oh, these damn kids are the one escorting me, I paid good money. But Hiruzen, he has them take Tazuna out, and they're dragging him by his arms, and he's saying, let go of me, get me some booze. So after that whole situation, they all, the next day would roll around, and Tazuna, he's at the main gate, and when Team 7 finally comes, he's apologetic, saying last night that wasn't the regular him. He was completely, in every sense of the word, drunk. So after accepting his apology, Team 7 gets on their way to the Land of Waves, and they have a lot of challenges ahead of them, but that is where I'm going to be leaving this one off. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and if you liked it, like, and if you like my content in general, consider subscribing. Also, definitely leave your guys' idea for a ship in the comments, because I'm gonna do a poll, so I'm gonna take all of the comments and sort of average out the top ships that people want, because I did a community post before recording this, and the main person in the poll is Kaguya and Anko. So I'm gonna take a few more people from some comments I see, then I'll just put it in a poll, and then you guys can choose whatever you like. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.